really do. You're a 21-year-old punk fucking kid. Grandpa's given you everything all your fucking life. You've never had a car payment, a house payment. Everything you live in was given to you by Grandpa. You fucking don't know what it's like to work for a fucking living like I do, to bust my fucking ass and do what I do. And you know what, Sean? You fucked me, and that's the way you got it. But you know what? Your grandpa's money will run out someday, and you'll have to feast for yourself. Get a fucking job, you piece of shit.
Welcome to Behind the Smoke podcast. I am Sean Waltrip from Cali Comfort Barbecue, here with my man Derek Marceau, Valley Farm Market, and it is barbecue week. Bet on barbecue. This is what we train for.
This is it. This is like game time.
We're game
ready
time.
To go.
It's Super Bowl week.
It's exciting. I got some good sleep last night.
Yeah, you sleep?
I did.
Really?
I actually
two kids.
Kind of told my wife that was going to be the last night I was gonna have some sleep, and I don't plan on sleeping for the next 4 days.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Should be exciting. Should be fun. But we're already pumped, man. We're already fucking getting a bunch of stuff done. Getting the trucks loaded today. Trophies are in.
Yeah.
Chris just texted me right now. He's loading the Grand Reserve in the car right now to bring over.
FLB Laser.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That guy's
they do some unreal
else.
Work.
We're
really, really fired up. So like getting epic trophies that people are proud of.
Huge.
It goes back to what we talk about on this podcast. You know, we talk about business, we talk about marketing, but if you're going to do something, you better do it right. And if we're going to make a trophy, it better be something that someone's going to be excited to get.
Well, I want them to be able to display it everywhere. I want them to be proud of it. This is going to be like the raddest trophy that they're going to get. You know?
Yeah.
I don't want to give them just another trophy that they've gotten every other competition. I want it to be something different and something they can say, shit, I want to come back and get another trophy.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got to check out Frickin' Laser Beams on Instagram. We'll put
We'll
put all that stuff in our show notes. George Recoy, also from Loyal and Dedicated, he hooked up the logo for this year. He wants to mix it up every year, kind of like the Super Bowl logo, so that
sexy.
Every year we can get something sexy for the polos and the hats and all that. But
have you got our polos and hats yet? Oh wait, not yet. They're coming.
I'm leaving. I don't have a hat yet.
Oh, you can't leave. You can't leave. We just brought you into town.
Yeah, we're with that. We want to introduce our next guest. One of my favorite guys in barbecue. He's just an awesome guy. Arlie Bragg. Welcome, my friend.
Arlie Bragg. You're the self-proclaimed Don King of barbecue. Or is there actually a media outlet that calls you the Don King?
Well, I don't know. It's because of the hair. Look at the hair.
Well, welcome. Hopefully your trip with Joyce was easy to come in, and hopefully this is an event that you guys enjoy coming to as well. San Diego, you really can't beat it, but we're happy to have you.
Yeah, second year for the Del Mar Barbecue State Championship up at the Del Mar races. I put a photo actually up on Facebook today of Del Mar Grillfest in 2013, which was kind of one of the birth of this event. Was they put on a grill fest up there, and Craig Data, who runs the track, they had a Weezer concert, so they invited 30. There were supposed to be barbecue restaurants up there. We ended up being one out of 2 restaurants, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
Who are the other people?
The other restaurants were like Hooters and just basically other people selling not even barbecue.
Do they bring their servers? No.
It was the food ran
Is that
out.
frowned upon out there?
The food ran out within 1 hour of the event opening up. And that's just one of the reasons why it makes so much sense to have a KCBS barbecue event up at Del Mar, is because when you're talking about 20,000 people coming to the track, it's completely different than any other barbecue event where, this people are coming for horse racing. This people are going to come for barbecue as well as horse racing.
Absolutely. Once they smell it in the grandstands, they're going to come down, eat it up. And we are very prepared for whoever would like to come this weekend on Sunday and try some great Q. We got almost 60 teams, a bunch of restaurants serving up all different styles of barbecue. We're excited. We'll be out there. I know you'll be out there, of course, with us.
My son will be out there too.
Yeah, both my sons.
Born to work.
Every event I usually do, my sons tend to find a way to get sick.
Yeah,
and I remember last year they had 103 temperature.
I do remember that. And then Spring Valley Barbecue, they were sick for that too.
Growing up, so we're hoping that get a clean bill of health.
Get them some vitamin C.
Yeah, and they can make it down because they're going to love it. I mean, Dalton's getting to the age now where he's just, loving food. And Decker, he's 1.5. Man, that guy fucking eats so much.
Yes.
So much. He'll just be like, more? Daddy, more? I'm like, sure, bud. Let's go try some good Q.
Well, the coolest thing about this is that, we started this podcast so that we could talk about business. We could talk about entrepreneurship, events, marketing, all the things that have allowed us to be where we are today and to put on, this amazing event with these KCBS teams, and then to meet people like Gene Goycochea and, his best friend, Arlie. Arlie, let's go back to the beginning. When did you get the barbecue bug? When did you get infected with the virus?
Well, it happened when I was very young, 8 and 9 years old. My grandfather barbecued all the time, so he had a pit in the barn, and he did it the old-fashioned way by burning the coals outside and then shoveling them in the door and spreading it around. And they'd put 3 or 4 hogs on there at the holidays and smell up the neighborhood, and people would stop and want to buy it, but it was just for the family. So we had a big family reunion. He had his own recipes, and he had about 8 kids. He never shared his recipes with his kids.
Wow.
So to this day, none of them knew any of his recipes. So he died with all the recipes.
Where were you born?
Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Wow. So that must have been a big pit. I mean,
it was. And believe it or not, a couple years ago, my wife and I decided to get out of the traditional neighborhood and get a little land and build a catering facility in the house. So we actually found his old property.
No way.
And the house was gone, and it was an old house. The lake that came into Nashville took his house. So they built a house on the other side of the lake, and he built a 2-car brick old block garage. The pit is still there.
Oh my gosh.
Everything else is gone. I mean, and this was, back in the early 60s, so we had to go draw the water for him. He didn't have running water,
Don't tell the health department.
He had an outhouse, and so it was all demolished and gone because somebody was going to build there.
Sure.
And then they started building the neighborhood next door, and that's not what they wanted. So it's still sitting today. I could take you right to it.
Wow.
Pit looks just like it did 40 years ago.
Wow.
Well, I know me and Sean have already talked about it. I can't wait to get out there. We'll go out there some. We got a few trips planned here soon, but
you'll look good in your Daisy Dukes.
Oh, you know that. That's actually one of the real reasons I want to go out there. We're going to show those off.
We're going Facebook Live with those Daisy Dukes for sure.
Tie your shirt up,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Midriff. I mean, I'm all in. I'm definitely all in. But we definitely want to see that. We have family up in Lebanon and Tennessee, so we'll.
So that's about 8 miles from my house.
Exactly. So we'll go and share and see Tennessee. We can't wait.
So you grew up, watching your dad cooking barbecue, not feeding the family, not passing on his recipes. How did you, as a young man, start working into barbecue?
Well, I got married.
Woohoo!
My wife worked for Jack Daniels.
Nice.
26 years ago, they started their first cook-off. All the employees had to work, so we'd go down there.
This is Lynchburg, Tennessee, right?
Lynchburg. We'd drive from Nashville.
Dry County. So for those that don't know, Lynchburg, Tennessee, Dry County, where they distill the Jack Daniels.
So if you want liquor there, you have to drive 2 miles and 32 steps to the front door of the liquor store. So, but we'd go down there to work, and she's not a night owl, so 7 or 8, she's ready to go to bed, and I'd drop her at the hotel, and I'd go hang out with the cooks all night long. So you had Willingham's and Head Country, Flower of the Flame, and Mike Mills, and a bunch of the old guys who've passed on or retired now.
Mike Mills is still going strong.
Mike Mills at Memphis Barbecue is still going strong.
Yeah, 17th Street, Mike Mills.
I guess I learned the most from John Willingham, and he passed away a couple years ago, but he taught me a lot. So we'd hang out with those guys and learn how to barbecue, and just one thing led to another. We bought our first house, and it seemed like all the neighbors around us were in the music industry. So one guy said, let's buy a barbecue pit and start catering a few bluegrass shows. So that's where my catering business got started.
Nice.
And then we're like, okay, let's enter a few barbecue cook-offs. And
when you said a little pit, I mean, what was the first pit you guys did for your caterings?
It was a close pit, so it was like 7 foot long, 30-inch barrel. So it would do quite a bit of food, and so we do little bluegrass showcases. In the music industry in Nashville, when they get off work, you got to do your album showcase right then. If they go home, they're not coming back out.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So at 5 o'clock, we'd be serving barbecue at a bar somewhere or something, and they would do a showcase of 5 or 6 songs, and so it just got started that way. And then,
what year was this?
oh gosh,
Take us back. Take us back.
Well, I look good for 90, but probably late 80s.
Late 80s? Because I imagine Tennessee's changed a lot. Downtown Tennessee. And I mean, when I went out there with Scott. Geez, it must have been 2006 when we hit up. We went to Nashville. We went to Jack Daniels, Lynchburg. We went to Memphis too. So we hit up Rendezvous. Yeah, we did our own.
You mean where they boil ribs?
Where they boil? Do they boil ribs? Those dry rub ribs? Is that a joke in Tennessee?
No, it's the truth.
Oh, no, it's the truth. Fair enough. So it is different now. How has downtown Tennessee changed?
It has gotten so commercial with all the little honky tonks. Mm-hmm. That they've actually had to take 2 lanes away from the traffic at night for all the people on the street. So,
really? It's almost turned into like a Beale Street?
Like a Beale Street.
Wow.
Or a mini Vegas where there's 15,000 people on the streets at night, and they go from bar to bar. There's probably 30 bands playing every night in all the little hole-in-the-wall places, and you got Tootsie's and Robert's Western Wear, and they're all side by side, and there's a band in every one of them.
I can't imagine how electric the city was for when the Predators were in the Stanley Cup.
You cannot imagine. You couldn't
imagine.
even get down through the streets.
Absolutely incredible.
There'd be the 30,000 in the arena and 100,000 in the streets.
Jeez.
Yeah, we were told in San Diego that sports though isn't good for your city, so we don't do sports here anymore.
Right. We were like, sports.
Yeah, we don't need that. We've got the
team,
beach.
Get rid of this team.
Yeah, we're fine.
Put no money into it. Yeah, that's great.
Yep,
that's great.
So let's talk about, you started the catering business, and then what? Then how did you progress along?
Well, we decided we'd do a few barbecue cook-offs, and so we went and we heard our name called, and
this is Kansas City Barbecue
Kansas
Society.
City Barbecue.
Who taught you about Kansas City Barbecue Society, like the actual sanctioning? And was that when you were doing the Jack Daniels as a KCBS event, right?
They were sanctioned by Kansas City Barbecue Society, and so it just sort of took off from there. Like I said, we got our name called a few times.
What was the team name?
Arlieque.
Arlieque.
So then I noticed there was nobody traveling putting on barbecue contests. So I started throwing my name out there. And I got the Don King of BBQ from Chris Lilly from Big Bob Gibson's.
Yep.
So a lot of people know that name.
For sure.
He said, "You do so many contests. You're the Don King of barbecue." Yeah. So now, after 160 barbecue contests or so, I guess I can claim it.
That's awesome. So you've put on over 160?
160 plus. Yes.
160 plus. And you're talking about...
I quit counting. I ran out of hands and fingers and toes.
How many do in a year now?
I think I had 16 this year.
16.
So I've got, obviously we got the one this weekend at Del Mar, and then I've got one in Grand Junction, Colorado. It's our 11th year there.
Okay.
And then the last one is Payson, Arizona. It's a barbecue and testicle festival.
Nice.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
I'll be there.
I was hoping y'all would donate.
They're branding it as a testicle event?
Yeah.
Let's see this.
Well, it was a
social
testicle
media on that.
It was a testicle event, period. And so this year they've decided to add barbecue.
Oh, it was a straight testicle event.
And so they are going to do barbecue, and the teams were going to do testicles as the anything but category. So now, as I understand it, I think they're just going to have some being sold off to the side or something, so the teams don't have to deal with that, which really disappoints me because I went and bought some of those big bull nuts that you see hanging from the tailgates of trucks and stuff. That was going to be the trophies.
Those would be good trophies.
Oh, man. So now, doing all these events throughout the years, how has it been changing? What do you see in all these different events? Where's it going?
How many has it been at least a decade of putting on professional barbecue contests?
Yeah, I think I did my first one in about 89.
In 89, yeah.
So Nashville Shores in Nashville, which is a RV park on the lake, and it was just easy. You sit at the gate, you're in spot number 3, you're in spot number 4, and it progressively got harder. Then it was you pulled up in your pickup truck, you had a pop-up tent, and your grills and your smokers, and you went and set up. Now everybody's got $100,000 motorhomes and $20,000 trailers and $15,000 barbecue pits, and instead of that 10 by 10 space, they're wanting 20 by 60 and 30 by 40s and things like that. And a few years ago, it started going the opposite way. It started getting smaller, but now it started getting bigger again.
Yeah, it's probably with the big, crash of the market and everything. People probably didn't have as much money to buy all those things, and now it's starting to come back a little bit. And people are starting.
Yeah, definitely.
All the food TV shows, Pitmasters and Chopped, and all those has really turned the public on to barbecue. So it's really gotten huge across the United States and even Europe. We as KCBS have 50 contests in Europe now.
50?
50 contests. That's amazing.
Holy shit.
Who's putting
Croatia,
on? Do you know who's putting on those?
You see that picture?
No.
Look at that picture. Look at that Don King.
Y'all are digging deep, aren't you?
Yeah, we're digging deep.
We got some good photos. We'll share them on our notes of Arlie that we're putting up on the screen right now. But that's pretty.
So 50 contests in Europe. That's, one of the things we talk about on this podcast is it's amazing the growth of barbecue worldwide. We have people in Australia. We talked about it when I went on Man Meat Barbecue on their podcast. There's people tuning in Canada. There's people, in Australia. There's people all across Europe, and they're fascinated with fire. And it's no joke because it's been going on since the beginning of man. It's just how barbecue now with the internet and being able to share on Instagram and share photos of, what people are cooking with fire and how they're slow cooking and offset cooking. It's pretty cool to see all the different, just the enthusiasm towards the sport of barbecue.
It has taken off. I know when I first started in KCBS, we probably had 4,000 or 5,000 members. Now we have 22,000.
22,000. What's the annual membership?
It's hanging right around 22,000 right now.
Yeah. How much does it cost for somebody to join KCBS?
And anybody can join. $50 a year.
So anybody can join $50 a year, and that gives you access to the bull sheet.
The website, so you can look up and see where all the contests are in your area, and there's recipes and articles and so we have probably about 8,000 to 9,000 barbecue teams that are just registered with us, and about 17,000 certified judges who have all taken a class to learn the criteria that we use to judge barbecue.
And what's that criteria for those?
It's appearance, taste, and tenderness. So, we teach you that when you bite a rib, you always hear fall off the meat ribs. You want the meat to fall off the bones. Well, if you actually think about that, that's overcooked. Sure. That's why it's falling off the bone.
Or it might be boiled.
Could be boiled. So, we teach you that when you take a bite of a rib from a championship barbecue team, the meat should stay on the bone except for the bite that you took. And then if you watch the bone, it'll proceed to turn sort of chalky looking and sort of dry up, and that means it was perfectly cooked. If it just all falls off the bone and you push it up against the roof of your mouth, you'll actually see how mushy it really is.
Right. Yeah, no, we do that here too. We've got away from the fall off the bone and really trying to focus on it, having just a little bit of firmness to it. So you take a bite and just that bite comes off, and once you do it enough, you find out how to do it. It's actually a far better rib. That's the way we like it. And
absolutely.
And you guys are big tri-tip people out here, right?
big tri-tip people, man.
California, big tri-tip people.
My dad.
Can't even buy it in Tennessee.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Jeez.
You have to order
Still?
Still.
Wow, that's amazing.
Occasionally, Sam's Club will have it, but it's always...
What are they doing with that meat?
It's always got lemon
Giving
pepper
it to
on
us.
it or something.
Giving it to us. Selling it to us.
Selling it to us Californians. No, my dad was always telling me about tri-tip and how good it was, and I honestly think it's probably the most underutilized piece of meat. It's such a, it's not a weight-bearing muscle, and it's off the bottom sirloin. It's got such a, you can cook steaks, you can slice it real thin and put it in fajitas. You can do a bunch of different things with it. We smoke them, but they used to grind them.
How do you get them in the papers?
Yeah, no, it's they're great. I mean, we're big fans. I mean, shit, we probably go through a couple 1,000 pounds a week of tri-tip here at the store. So
There's probably not that much in the whole state of Tennessee.
That's crazy.
Right. I can't believe that people aren't taking to that. But people are real big fans of brisket. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of brisket. I've had some really good brisket before, but if I can have a brisket or a tri-tip, I usually tend to go towards the tri-tip. I like the texture of the tri-tip better. I like the taste of the tri-tip better. But it's to each their own. It's not right or wrong.
Right.
It's just,
I think one of the things that we talk about, as far as organizations and growth, like we're talking about the growth of the sport of barbecue, Kansas City Barbecue Society, because they have such high standards and leadership, they've been able to grow. I mean, they just opened up a brand new, absolutely incredible headquarters in Kansas City that, Gene, Rosie and I were so fortunate to be able to go and see that pretty much in construction. They weren't even open, but Carolyn Wells,
right.
She took us through and showed us, this is where they're going to put on, cooking classes. This is, the huge world globe of where all these barbecue events are actually taking place. And we actually got to go and see the old office, which is, just pretty much a little tiny, tiny shack that,
That's
humble
where it all
beginnings,
began,
humble
though.
beginnings. And that's really what barbecue is all about. Tell us about, your path into now being on the Kansas City board of directors.
It is quite an adventure, I can tell you. So it's slow to get anything done with 12 members, as I guess any board that big would be. But we are moving forward and looking to some new adventures.
How many years have you been on the board?
I think I've been on 5 years total. I've got one more year to go. It's a 3-year term.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can run again, and then you have to sit out a year. So I am on the nominating committee, so I expect that you guys will be putting your name in.
And were you ever on the board when Gene was on the board?
I was on the board.
So you and Gene were both on the board?
Yeah, we were
Ooh,
we were big instigators.
I want some meeting notes from that. I would love to see the meeting notes.
if I could have
from
been a
that.
fly on the wall for that, listen
We
to that
caused
shit.
lots of trouble.
I would have loved a Facebook Live.
Just for
from
the
that.
fun of it.
Right? I like it. That's
Right?
awesome.
So
So you can do six years, and then you have to take a year off.
Take a year off.
Okay. Yeah, Sean. So you're up.
I'm up.
I'll nominate you this year, and you can.
We'll run that by Rosie and see
Yeah,
what she says.
exactly.
Can I nominate my son?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, like we said, because Kansas City Barbecue Society, they have such high standards for the judging process and to be a certified barbecue judge and to be a master judge. That's why that's why the growth has happened the way that it has.
And now with it getting into Europe, it's even really getting bigger. When the European teams, South African, Japanese teams started coming over to cook at Jack Daniel's, it was completely different. A lot of those teams, especially from Europe, they don't like smoke on the meat.
Yeah.
So they would cook with the firebox door open.
Yeah.
So I was always part of a German team, and we would have to practically hire somebody to sit up all night and keep their foot up against the firebox door.
No way. To keep it closed.
To keep it closed.
No way.
So I went back to the hotel, come back the next morning. He's still sleeping with his foot on a Bricko block. The door's closed, and I'm like, all right.
Right.
He didn't open the door. So I opened the pit, and the meat's in turkey bags.
Oh, Christ.
Oh, that's so funny.
But that year we actually won first place in pork.
Did you?
So
there you go.
So
have you been to any of these competitions out in Europe yet?
I did go, believe it or not, I was in Rome, Italy on 9/11, and we had been cooking brisket in the Alps at a beef show. Wow. So we cooked some brisket and what you would know as a Danish rib, a little bitty 2-inch rib, and then we got caught there for a couple of days. And
how are they putting on these contests with certified judges?
They've actually are running classes over there now.
Really? That's fantastic.
So they have classes. They have schools to teach those guys how to cook like we cook and put the smoke on the meat. Because over there, the way they cook is more culinary, and they want to carve little animals out of radishes and stuff like that, and garnish that we don't have. I know Gene ran the World Barbecue Association event in Imperial Beach in 2000, and there was all kind of stuff in the box. Yeah. Carved out animals, and we had I believe it was a Croatian team that we had to get a big log, and they actually dug out the middle of their log to cook in.
Really?
Yeah, it took them 2 days.
Jesus.
To hollow out this, I mean, it was like a 5-foot big around log. I don't know where Gene found it at, but so.
Give him enough time, he'll find anything.
So let's go to when you met Gene.
Oh gosh, I met Gene in probably 1998. I ran the World Barbecue Association event in Lebanon, of all places.
There you go.
And I had teams from South Africa and Britain, and I had like 12 international teams. So we had 72 teams total. And Gene came out with David Close, Paul Kirk, and so we had a big party, and I met Gene there, and he invited me out to San Diego. So we come and stayed with Gene a couple of days. Just a wonderful person.
Oh my God, yeah.
And so I get home and I'm walking in the house and the phone's ringing already. And it's David Close. And he said, I already heard you had a great time in California. I said, yeah, but I can't go back. And he said, why? I said, because Gene tried to pay for everything. I said, that's nice. He said, well, you just got to get over that. That's Gene's entertainment.
Yeah, that's what he does, man.
Gene has hospitality in his blood.
He does.
If you're welcome into that inner circle, you become family very quick. But you kind of have to call it like you see it. And I think that's probably why you guys get along so well, is you're probably too transparent. There's zero filter.
Well, that's what we always heard, right? Like about the competitions and stuff. It's, when I was talking to Gene about throwing these competitions and doing everything, he's like, well, we can get Arlie. And I'm like, well, what happens if this? He's like, you don't worry about that. You let Arlie worry about that, because he's a no bullshit kind of guy, and he's just going to tell it how it is. And that helps us so much too. It's like, okay, perfect. That way there's no like gray area. It's either yes or no. No, you can't do this. You're done. Okay, well, great. That way it makes it easy for us to say, hey, here's the rules, here's the guidelines. That's it. And have someone like you come and mentor us and help us with these events. I mean, it's we can't thank you enough for that, man.
I appreciate it. No, and that's the way it has to be. We had an event at Mandalay Bay in Vegas one year. The management comes, says there's 2 teams here. Their trucks are still in their spots, and they wanted that place to really look good. Not a single vehicle in your spot. All the tents were in a row. You could stand behind the first pole and couldn't see the last one.
Nice. I like how they roll.
They come out and lined it all up, and so I go to these teams and I say, guys, it said in the team packet, no vehicles in your sight. Oh, we got to have them, or you can't cook. So I just reached in my billfold, pulled out their entry fee. I said, here's your feedback, leave.
Right.
Yeah.
No, we don't want to leave. Okay, you got 20 minutes. A vehicle out of your sight or leave. What are you going to do? Your choice.
Right?
I'll be back in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Were they gone?
Nope, they moved their vehicles.
There you go. Nice.
Well, those are the barbecue war stories. Those are the stuff that actually happens behind the scenes, that somebody like Arlie and Gene and Kelly McIntosh and Kathleen McIntosh, they're the ones that, they have the phone and they're they get the call from, up in Long Beach when you get the Queen Mary call and they say, hey, what's going on with your teams? Are they having a disco club out in the parking lot? Right. Arlie gets that call and Gene and Arlie have to wake up and go down there in their pajamas. That's not who you want to see.
You don't want to see Arlie in his thong. It's not great.
That's not a thong. It's a Speedo. It's no fun. Fortunately, out of 160 events, I've only had to send one team home.
Was that at Long Beach?
That was at Long Beach.
Oh, nice. I made it to that one. I heard all about it the next day. It was fantastic.
Head Cook's one of the nicest guys in the world, but he had a teammate that was just out of control.
Yep.
And
boozing or
boozing.
Yeah. He let the adult beverages sort of get to him, and so we had to send him home, and it was a bad day for him. He
let his team down.
He let his team down, and so I just asked them to all go in the motorhome, and of course Kelly and Kathleen were there, and Gene, and I said, daybreak when you can see to pack up, leave, and by the time we got out there at 8:30, they were gone.
Yeah. We had one at our Spring Valley event. Was it the first year?
What's that?
Where we had to
tell
a guy that he can't come back either.
I kicked him out. Bye. You're gone. Kicked him out in the middle of the event.
Even had an altercation with his wife.
His wife, he came down with his girlfriend that he was cheating on his wife with. And then his wife came down into
it's never
she came down to the event.
Oh, yeah.
The marital dispute on Troy Street didn't work out so well.
Yeah, and then we had to just say, hey, you're 86.
Yeah, we're going to have to escort you off the fairgrounds.
Never again. Never come back. It's unfortunate because the world of barbecue brings so many people together, and you create so many friendships and different avenues you can go, and you can just never let those black sheep get in the way, and just get rid of them and keep the good people, the positive people, keep it going, because like you said, it is growing. It's in Europe, 50 events a year. I mean, it's just going to become such a big thing because it's not that it's easy, but it's like something that everyone can get behind. Everyone knows to cook, wants to do it.
It takes a special breed of person and family to support a barbecue event, because it's not something where you go for 6 hours and you go and you participate in this contest. You're talking about an all-day extravaganza. I mean, we know because we put them on, but even the teams that come out, they have to have wives that support them. They have to have family members that support them because they're gone all weekend. You're gone all weekend. You're tailgating. You're in camping lot. You have turn-in times. You have all these different moving parts that you have to be ready for. I mean, how much do you think these teams are spending these Kansas City Barbecue Society teams on a weekend?
They're spending about $800 to $1,000 just on meat now.
Easy.
And that's not counting if they have to get a hotel
or if they have to travel, gas,
food and gas and travel and all that. But it becomes a big family.
Yeah.
And I mean, you follow Facebook and you see people break down on the road somewhere. They just go on Facebook and say, "Hey guys, I'm broke down. Can somebody help me?" And all of a sudden, there's 10 barbecuers running to their aid, helping them on the side of the interstate. I know I had a flat on the interstate, and no extra tire, no jack or nothing. And in 15 minutes, I had more tires and jack than I jacked up the whole truck.
There you go.
Yeah, but we saw that a little bit last year too. With just Rhythm and Q had a bunch of they come in their van, and I mean that thing. It's packed, packed full, and they did so well. They
won so many trophies,
so many awards. They didn't have room for them.
Yeah, they couldn't take the Yeti home, right?
Yeah, and other teams were like, "Hey, we'll take it for you, and we'll drop it off. We're going by Arizona, wherever we're going." And but you can see that people are as competitive as people are. It's still like a family, and everyone comes together for a common goal. And we're happy that we're able to come together for a common goal. And a lot of that's with the charities involved in these events. And it's not about us or the teams. It's really about being able to give back, and KCBS allows that platform. And that's really exciting for us to be able to have that avenue where we can give back and get organizations and training involved, and to support the underprivileged youth. It's important for us, and to be able to do those things through KCBS, and it's really cool. And I'm happy when all the other teams are excited about it as well.
Yeah, we did that last weekend in McMinnville, Tennessee, which is another 50 miles from Lebanon, and we had all the teams cooked about 10 pounds of chicken wings on Friday night, and we sold them. And then likewise on Saturday, they cooked 2 butts each, chopped them, turned them in, and I cooked some ribs and some other butts and beans, and they sold a $10 a plate dinner. And then you got to vote on what you thought the best pork was from the teams that had cooked. And we raised about $5,500, and
Wow.
it all went to animal shelters and or children's, homeless or children that needed clothes and stuff like that. Backpack program for school. And for this little community, that's huge. $5,500 is a lot of money.
We were talking about that with the PFUFA and how they give back. And sometimes we're very fortunate in what we do, and those little things we might not understand how important they are to the person that can't afford it for their children, and to be able to see the pure joy that you can give somebody when you give them those things, and that it's truly impacting their life.
Yeah.
They didn't know how they were going to get a new backpack for their kid. They didn't understand or know where they didn't have an outlet to get pencils and all those things for their kids to go to school to educate them. Now you're giving that to them. I mean, there's no money that can take that feeling. I mean, that's just, it's so exciting. That's really what drives Sean and I the most, is being able to give those things and do those things. That's really where we want to continue to be able to grow, and it's a lot of fun in the meantime. We get to do these things, meet great people, and we're really excited about it.
I know I had a contest in Nashville, and Smithfield had been a big sponsor, as they are, of the one here in Delmar this weekend. And they gave us a bunch of meat. Time. And so the mission in Nashville, they feed like 800 or 900 meals 3 times a day. And so every day, as you guys know, the teams cook a lot of meat. They have to turn in enough for 6 judges. So they have a tremendous amount of meat left.
Yep.
Well, they packaged it all up, brought it to us. We had a reefer truck, had it down there around 33 degrees, and we put it all in there, properly cooled it down, and the mission came each day and got all that meat, and we gave them like 2 days, 5,500 pounds of meat.
Wow, that's really cool.
Plus, the vendors that were there donated their leftover buns and potato salad and coleslaw, and so they got a tremendous amount. I mean, 5,500 pounds of meat. Divide that by 4.
Yeah,
that's a lot of meals, guys.
Yeah,
and so the little running joke was they got more food from the street I live on, because Tracy Lawrence, the country singer, lives at the end, and every Thanksgiving the people of Nashville donate turkeys in the parking lot of the mission, and he deep fries 400 turkeys.
Oh, wow.
And other country stars stop by and hang out and sign autographs and stuff.
That's really cool.
And they've been doing this for 7-8 years now. So started out as 100 turkeys, and this last year it was 400.
Yeah.
So
I have nightmares about turkeys, so I can't even think about doing that many turkeys. Trying to do them here, and we've run into a few issues trying to get everyone's
We've had
plates
our own
and
turkey war stories for sure.
But that's 100 to 400. I mean, I can't even imagine.
It's incredible.
How many fryers does he have?
Oh, he's got a bunch, and they've got some that they have wires on, and they hook them on there, and they can do like 10 at a time.
Okay.
So, but back to Smithfield, one of the things, they just became just recently a sponsor to the event, but we talk about marketing and the digital world that we live in, and Facebook Live and videos and Instagram and Insta stories and Snapchat. But shout out to John Doherty, who works for Smithfield. He actually contacted me through Twitter. Derek,
okay, I'll give you one.
Through Twitter.
Twitter did one good thing for us.
One good thing. So Twitter, he direct messaged me through Twitter, just introduced himself, said, I work with Smithfield. We'd love to talk to you about ribs. I was like, if you want to talk to me, you got to talk to Gene. So if you can get past Gene, then we're all good. And, he exchanged emails with Gene, exchanged conversations. And now we're going to be, providing Smithfield ribs in Cali Comfort. But now they're donating product to help the PC teams cook and to help raise more money for organizations and training. And
it's here. It's at the shop right now.
There you go. And Harvest Meat stepped up, and they went to pick it up, and lots of different moving parts. But it's one of those things, the power of social media and direct messaging. And, if you're on there and you're active and you listen, it's much better than John coming down and trying to talk to Eric, coming in to talk to my general manager on a Tuesday when he's trying to run the restaurant, get the schedule and pay all the bills and say, oh, hey, I want to talk to you about a product. That's probably not the best avenue to
we talked about this a while ago, and it's like, if a company wants to come in and talk about their product, there's just a way to go about it. And it's not about, you can't try to force your product on anybody, and you can't do your due diligence. Learn about that company, learn about what product they're using, then come in and then talk and see if there's something you can do. And maybe you need to be their number 2 for a while and just show that you can do it. And that's what they did. And all of a sudden they became your number 1. Now you're using them. Now you're going to buy what Gene said, over $1 million of product
they're willing to
go
through U.S. Foods. And U.S. Foods, we just had on our last podcast, we talked about transparency and a company that's publicly traded with 25,000 employees that's willing to go onto a podcast, that's willing to, post on Instagram about, the Del Mar event that they're participating in, that, all those moving parts, they all have to come together for us to even get ready for this weekend, and this weekend's going to be epic. It's going to be absolutely incredible.
I'm so excited. You know what I'm really fucking excited about?
What's that?
That we don't have to fucking cook on Friday for opening day. Last year when we had to do that was a fucking nightmare. So now that we can really focus on the experience that we're going to give people, what we're going to do, I'm ecstatic about it. This is what we live for, these types of moments, and to be able to do it as efficiently as I feel like we're going to do it. I know there's going to be hiccups because there always are, but I'm really, really excited.
Yeah, we went up on Tuesday. We went up to Mighty 1090.
I feel like I live in Del Mar sometimes.
With Scott and BR, and I'm driving back with Corey, and we're sitting in the car, and we're like, oh, I don't know if we're ready for the weekend. We've got all this stuff we've got to do, and I was like, dude, last year on Tuesday, we were at Petco Park for MLB All-Star Game. We were part of a Pepsi tailgate block party. On Sunday was what do they do on Sunday? It's before the home run derby. It's like the celebrity event on Sunday. Monday's the home run derby. Tuesday's the MLB All-Star Game. So we had like pretty much a full pop-up restaurant down there, full staff, serving thousands of people that were coming out, and that was on Tuesday, the same week of Del Mar. Wednesday, we had to go and unload that entire tailgate and then get ready for opening day on Friday.
It's funny because I was
still alive.
Right, I always tease you about you not being able to say no, but it's like you tease me the same way. It's like we put so many things on our plate, but hey, we got through it.
But
we live and learn, man. That's what's really important, is that we learn from those things, and we can either be better staff for them, or we can say, hey, that's not going to work this year. We really need to focus on this event, because our plan is to grow this event, and we really want to be able to have this event for the longevity of our lives.
Well, one of the biggest things when we first started doing the Spring Valley Tailgate and Barbecue Festival, Gene would always invite me to other barbecue contests that he was participating and that he was running. And I remember distinctly, Rosie and I going up to one of Arlie's events up at Long Beach. Actually, no, not at Long Beach, at Dana Point. It was one of the first times that I went up to watch Arlie do his thing. And I walked up there, and I remember I called you, and I was like, dude, Derek, we have to run events like Arlie and Gene. They're out there, and they build a team of great people like the McIntoshes that will go and do the things to help support the event, to support the team, so that the teams know that, hey, the event's going to be run the way that KCBS wants it to be run. That if they have any challenges, there's a way to communicate those challenges, and that it's going to be a great event for the public. Because, Derek and I, we talk about, on the podcast a lot, the KCBS contests, they're absolutely incredible. But if there's not a public vending component to it, there's no reason for Del Mar, a place like Del Mar Thoroughbred Club, to have KCBS come in, because it's way too much work. It's way too much work. And I know one of the biggest challenges that KCBS has, and CBBQA has, and National Barbecue, any contest, it's going to be very difficult, because some of the teams that participate in PC feel like they don't have a fair shot because the teams that are winning are the ones that aren't participating in PC.
Right.
Right. So what tell us a little bit about what the challenges that teams have talked to you
about.
about.
Or tell us what your thoughts are on being able to create an environment where people feel like they can do more PC stuff.
Well, at Long Beach, I think I had 50 teams this year, and all but 6 of them sold barbecue to the public.
It's great.
And so, we can only get about 5,000 in that little park there, and we get them in there. And so I think they went through about 60,000 2-ounce samples.
Wow.
And so they sell a lot of samples there. And so a lot of the teams this year have bought extra barbecue pits in, and they'll have a team that's just doing the cook-off.
Yeah.
They don't help on the other side at all. And this year, the Sharpwood team were selling to the public, and one of the biggest sellers, and they won the contest too.
Oh, nice.
So
that's good to hear.
This last year, sort of the tide changed a little bit.
Wow, that's impressive.
So that was really huge for a group of people there to be selling to the public and running 2 or 3 lines, and then also have a barbecue pit there cooking to come in and win the grand championship.
Yeah, because it's important for us too. It's because we talk to other barbecue restaurant owners, we talk to other barbecue teams, amateur teams, but they're building their brand. So if you're a PC team, a non-PC team, a KCBS team, an amateur team, like everything that you do is going to be who you are and who you represent. I mean, Arlieque, that was your barbecue team name.
Right.
That's the name of your company, right?
Right.
Arlieque Events. So you took that, that's who you are, that's what you represent. And now you're still doing that. Now you're putting on these professional barbecue contests, and Derek and I, for Cali Comfort, for Valley Farm, everything that we do, we want to make sure that our brand stays consistent, that we give back, that we put ourselves out there on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Snapchat, whatever we can do. And the more that teams that aren't doing PC understand that PC will actually, and who knows what their end game is, because maybe they don't want to open up a restaurant, or maybe they don't want to have a catering, maybe they just love competing. But teams like who won last year
For the Peoples?
No, Rub Your Meat. One for Peoples.
Yeah. Rhythm and Q.
Rhythm and Q. Who came in second?
Big Papa.
Yeah, Big Papa. So Big Papa, they do an incredible job with their brand.
Dude, they're fucking really good.
I was looking on their website, their social, like they do an incredible job with their brand, and they do a great job in contests. But like it takes extra work.
Yeah, I mean, I know even Rub Your Meat. Even last year, they're like, man, we didn't know that there's going to be so many people. Like, we're fucking ready next year.
Yeah,
like you better believe we're going to bring more people. We'll have the whole team doing PC stuff. We're going to be ready for all these people.
It's one of those things, because we can sympathize with the teams the most, is because we go out there and we put on events and we participate in events. Guess in order to sell more food, you need more labor. Labor is going to cost money, or you're going to get a volunteer, and we all know what's going to happen with a volunteer. You know what you're going to get.
Well, it's a 50-50 shot.
It's going to be more.
30 minutes later, they got barbecue sauce on their shirt, and they left.
Where's my break time?
Right.
Like, I'm Snapchatting over here.
When they got a handful of samples from other places, you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why aren't you tending the queue,
Right.
But it is hard work, and the teams that come to Long Beach, they I've had a lot of them say, look, we love the PC here because we make enough money that it covers our costs for the next 3 or 4 contests that aren't PC events.
Right.
But PC events where you're selling to the public has got to be the future of barbecue.
It has to be.
You can't come with a $100,000 rig and back it in, and the public can't see what you can do.
Well, yeah, because for us as organizers, it doesn't even make sense, because you have such limited space at a place as iconic as Del Mar. You only have so much sexy space for the public to be there. Right. So a non-PC team is going to be put where the public won't even see it.
Right.
So if they are participating and they are buying a temporary food facility permit, that TFF will cover them for all the events that they do in all of California.
Right.
As far as I know, I'd have to check with the San Diego County, but like, a lot of these teams that are coming from Northern California, Central California, if they buy that TFF for the year, that covers them no matter what they do. If they go to a
caterings or
a street fair, if they go to a farmer's market, a catering, whatever it might be, that's going to cover them. And they're going to have the sidewalls, and they're going to have the hand wash station. They're going to have all the things that they need for the entire year.
And a lot of teams, they decide that they've won a few awards, and then somebody comes up and says, "Hey, will you cater this party for 50
Absolutely.
people?" And they go do it, and like, "Oh man, I made a little money there.
Yeah,
I got to do this more often.
Maybe I'll open up a restaurant."
And so that helps me too, because I work for Old Hickory Pits, and so I sell smokers to them when they move up. So
no, absolutely,
you've got to have the big commercial free.
How did that Old Hickory relationship start? Because Derek and I mean,
we're on Team Old Hickory for sure. We're fucking.
How did that start? I think there was a guy in Tennessee that had a certain area there, and he gave it up, or he sold another brand or something, and they let him go. And so I just inquired about it, because I do have so many contacts in the barbecue industry. Mm-hmm. It's not a big sale for me. It's not like I have to spend an hour with somebody. They already know what they want.
Yeah.
They just call me to get the best price in the country.
Yeah.
And so, and I give the barbecue teams a really good cut. So
people can still contact you, right?
Right. I had a restaurant in Nashville come over the other day, and he said, "I want to look at some pits." I said, "Well, I've got two over here. I've got an ELEW and I got a double CTO." And the double CTO is a newer pit that'll hold a whole hog, and you can clean it after you cook in 30 minutes. And I just did a catering for about 300 people with a 180-pound hog, and it was very easy to clean. And so they're coming back next week. They're worried that their product won't taste the same.
Seriously?
Well,
what are they smoking on right now?
They have an offset pit, and he's like, "Man, I'm having to go out there every 2 hours all night and put wood on." I'm like, "Not with this one. You're going to put wood in there one time, and that's it. Right. No more wood, because it's so insulated. If you keep adding wood, it's just too smoky."
Right.
And so I said, "Come over and bring a case of butts. Bring some of the wood that you use. Throw it in there. Come back the next morning." He's like, "The next morning?" I'm like, yeah, the next morning.
You don't got to keep your foot on the door. You don't got to do anything.
No. Put it in there, set it on whatever you want to cook it, 220 or 240 or whatever. Come back 10 or 12 hours. It'll be sitting there waiting on you.
Right. No, that was actually a big transition for me too, because I grew up on offset, and I mean, if you forgot and your flute was open or something, you come back and all of a sudden your temperature's up or it's going down. I'm like, oh my God, I can cook some really, really good stuff if I'm just sitting there. But now running the business and everything, I couldn't be out there all the time. That's when I'm like, I got to figure out something that's a little more convenient,
right,
and can still give you just phenomenal product. And Old Hickory just solved that problem so fast.
Not only that, he was talking about, after 4 hours, I have to take them off and wrap them in tinfoil. And I'm like, won't be no tinfoil on this bit.
No.
You don't need it. He's like, we don't have to wrap in tinfoil? I said, no, you go out there at 6 hours and open it up. Looks like it's raining in there.
Right.
You don't need no tinfoil.
That's actually was a big surprise for me too. Just the moisture that it retains in there. It's not, like you said, you don't have to wrap them. You don't have to do anything. They're not drying out. Were we saying something?
No.
Yeah, no, it's just it's a beautiful, beautiful pit. It took me a little while, and then talking with Gene and Sean, they pushed me in the right direction, and it's been probably the best thing that I've done for our barbecue is to be able, because it's consistency.
Right.
The consistency is there all the time.
Quality
you know what you're getting. We know our times. We know everything. Chris, our pit master, he's good with the feel now. He understands how things are feeling. It's not always just about temperature, but you got to feel your meat. No pun intended. And but it's always consistent. What we do is a very, very consistent product.
So tell us about San Francisco Barbecue Festival. They're going to be year 2 as well, right?
No, they couldn't secure the property for year 2.
No way. They're not this year?
Not this year.
California.
The Giants parking lot is what we used.
Yes.
And it was a huge parking lot, and they bid off more than they needed to put on the event. And it was like $50,000 just to rent the parking lot.
Wow.
And
good Good old San Francisco.
Yeah, and they didn't make very much money.
Well, it's a good thing we don't put this on at Petco.
Jesus Christ.
Because I don't think we could fit a $50,000.
And the economy this year has cost us a lot of.
Yeah, a lot of teams, a lot of contests too. Well, California,
Dana Point's not coming back. Mesquite's not coming back, but Mesquite's not coming back because of PC.
Yeah,
really.
They're giving away $40,000 where the teams go there wanting to win that $10,000 grand championship.
Yeah,
so they don't want to mess with PC.
So they don't want it. So they don't do PC.
And so we would have one or two teams, but there again, like one of your events, they were out of food in an hour.
Right. Absolutely.
And it wasn't so much the people in the casino, it was that the town there after 5 or 6 years were coming to eat barbecue.
Yeah.
And now it's gone in an hour.
Yeah, and it creates a bad reputation for the event.
I mean, I know how I feel. If someone teases me with barbecue, then all of a sudden I don't get it.
Yeah, you get there and you're like, "What do you mean?"
Not very happy.
So the casino didn't want the bad name in the city,
no,
so
I get
they
it.
sort of pulled the plug on it. But
and Dana, they just stopped off.
Well, theirs was more of a council thing that they claimed the city was going broke, which we all know that's not true.
That's not true. Yeah. Dana Point's the nicest city I've ever seen. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
So they had a couple young guns run for the council, and they wanted to cut everybody's budget, so they cut a lot of events there.
Did they?
But the park's still there. I've secured the park if I can get the funding. So I'm sort of looking at next March to maybe do something there.
Nice.
And so they've agreed to give me the park and the liability insurance, and we'll see.
So we just need sponsors to step up to keep these events alive.
I don't think that we need a whole lot. I looked at their budget, and they used way too much of everything. It was an overkill. They had a nice dinner. I think you've attended the dinner.
Oh,
before
unbelievable
for the team.
Yeah,
but that dinner is like
$9,000.
$9,000.
Jesus.
Yeah,
and you don't have to do that. It's nice, and it's what built that event.
Mm-hmm. Sure,
but that's a lot of money to spend for a dinner if you're trying to cut the budget some.
Well, I think the teams would understand too. If you're like, hey, do you guys want this event, or do you guys want fucking dinner? If you want dinner, we can't do it anymore. If you're okay,
they took all the teams whale watching. That was one of the perks.
Yeah,
they take them whale watching.
I mean, we love to.
I'll show you a video of some whales on the TV. That's
I think y'all look like whales.
Right? that ain't no lie.
So for people that want to learn more about Arlie, they can come to your website, Arlieque Events,
ArliequeEvents.com, and
you do catering.
I do catering, and if you want a barbecue cook-off in your area, send me an email, and and I can at least put you in the right direction, whether I run it or not, and give you the ins and outs.
When are you going to do those hams again?
The hams are actually in the smokehouse right now, and day before yesterday, I'm still learning what they want to judge hams, but I picked out a ham, took it home. If you ever cured a ham, after so many months, it gets moldy and crusty, and so you take it home and clean it all up. So I entered one in the county fair, which is the largest fair in our state. And so I entered one the day before I flew out here. So we'll see whether it does any good or not. Everybody seems to like the taste, and I'll ship you guys some. But I won't pull the rest of them out till late October, early November.
Nice.
Definitely, we're going to have to bring some of those in. I love them. They're fucking awesome.
So this is a huge weekend. Del Mar Barbecue State Championship. The podcast is going to come out on Friday. We want to have as many people as possible come out. Tickets are available at delmar.dmtc.com. If you just go there, you can buy VIP tickets that get you early entry at 12 p.m. It gets you 4 tasting tickets, or you can just buy general admission that gets you in at 1 o'clock. It's open to all ages. We've got some heavyweights. I'm so
and if you just
excited.
If you're just curious about barbecue, come on out. I mean, if it's just something that
we have cooking demonstrations. KCBS is going to be out there. Tell us about the Great American Cookout. What do they do?
Great American Barbecue Cookout Tour will be there, and they'll be giving out samples, and they'll have a little mini stage and be talking about barbecue, and then they'll have some samples for you of some products that are on the trailer. So
yeah, it's just great for education. Like I said, if you just want to understand barbecue a little bit more, if you think you're good and you want some tips, we're always very transparent with everybody. Come out. If I can, I'll be able to talk with you and walk you through our station and show you what we're doing, help you out in any way you can, and sample some good Q. We can't thank everyone enough for listening to everything that we're doing. And if you need stickers,
if you need behind the smoke stickers,
Cali stickers, Valley Farm stickers, whatever you guys want.
Well, thank you guys for listening. It means the world to us. And if you can't make it this year to Del Mar, hopefully, if we do our jobs right and we make the teams happy and we make Arlie and Gene and KCBS happy and Craig is happy with us up at the track, then we'll be putting on the event again next year. And no matter where you are in the world, we want you to come out. There's no better place to be in the summertime than Del Mar. Arlie, are you got your shorts ready?
I got my shorts ready. I'll be signing autographs.
You'll be signing autographs? Nice. I like that. So yeah, if you make it out, please let us know. Follow us, Barbecue War Stories on Twitter. Tweet at Derek Marceau. Derek,
dude,
I'm gonna take over his account here pretty soon. Tweet at Arlie. Arlie actually tweets more than Derek, so
that's sad.
But it's Arlieque on Twitter. Yep, Arlieque. He's also on Instagram. It's also on Facebook. Follow him. Check out the show notes. Write us a review. We appreciate that. We're really excited. We can't wait to see all of our friends, all of our teams. The first year teams, we've got Fern's Barbecue. He's going to be coming out.
His first event, I talked to him yesterday.
First event, yeah.
He's pretty pumped and nervous, but he's also got a team that's doing just BC.
That's awesome.
He's got his team that's they got their categories already down, and there's another team that's coming in to do PC. So his first time doing a KCBS event. He's going to do PC too, so it'll be pretty exciting.
We even got Scott Kaplan to come out and vlog.
Vlogging.
He's going to be vlogging for the Mighty 1090.
He's going to be excited about that.
It's going to be exciting. We got Sam, the cooking guy, coming out. He's going to be doing a Facebook Live demonstration. We've got a lot of really cool things happening, and you get to come out and enjoy the races. It's going to be awesome.
I think Derek needs to bring a hog out there and show us how to break down a hog.
Oh, I will.
Let's add that.
I'm not scared about that.
Let's add that.
Add
it to the timeline.
Yeah,
Derek likes to see his name on the timeline.
You got 60 seconds to show us.
Yeah, 60 seconds.
I broke down a full moose in 16 minutes. From kill, I harvested in 16 minutes. Skinned it, muscled, quartered, up onto the Argos.
Awesome.
Yep.
That was a dream, right?
Nope. We did it.
So yeah, also check out Kansas City Barbecue Society. Check out their website so you can learn more about. It's really the NFL, the sanctioning body for barbecue, and what they're doing around the world. It's really cool. And if you become a member and you get the bull sheet, then you can see a bunch of cool stuff about Arlie. All the articles about what equipment's out there, teams, people like Old Hickory. All these amazing companies that are supporting barbecue teams, barbecue restaurants, caterers, and other businesses. So
yeah, and shout out to all the dessert vendors too that are going to come.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's huge.
That's exciting. We got, I think, Hammond's Ice Cream, the Incredible Cheesecake Company, San Diego's Finest Donuts.
Awesome. My wife is fired up about the desserts.
I mean, I'm fucking fired up about the desserts.
You know how to tell an organizer that's experienced in the dessert category?
Yeah.
He has a pocket full of forks.
We got barbecue jokes and all. I love it. Well, Arlie, thank you for your time. We're going to have a kick-ass time. Follow Bet on Barbecue on Instagram.
Hashtag Bet on Barbecue as well.
Corey's going to be very active with some Arlie videos because they're epic and they're hilarious. You got to check them out. Thanks for listening, guys. We appreciate it. See you on Sunday.
See ya.